Hello, my friends. How are you all doing? I hope that my voice doesn't sound too crazy right now. I've been a little bit sick this week. Guess it's the season for it. I'm kind of over it though. I've been sick so many times this year, both in an inconvenient way and in an actually hospitalized way. I wanted to stop. My immune system is not doing great. Today's video, I want to talk a little bit about my painting process, how that has changed over the past 6 years, and just some thoughts that I've had painting, getting back into the swing of things. The biggest one being why I don't paint from grayscale anymore. To start off, I wanted to mention that I've been in a little bit of a rut. I feel like I've been in a rut this whole year, maybe 2 years. It's been a while. I often glorify my older paintings. I realized I have been doing this a lot recently. Back when I was in a much worse place mentally, I was painting digitally mostly every day, a couple of hours every day, and I was seeing crazy growth in both my work and my analytics on YouTube specifically. Now that I've taken a lot of breaks for my health, both physically and mentally, and taking breaks for our big move, our trip, renovations, all that stuff, I'm so discouraged coming back to painting and social media. A lot of times I have bursts of energy and I can make more informative content, better content, all that stuff. But at the end of the day, I'm a regular person that this is my job and the numbers get to me. Social media definitely gains momentum slowly. It's not linear growth, so an exposure takes a lot of work and time. And because of the nature of the type of content I post, a lot of work goes into my videos and my paintings, and it's discouraging to see them perform super poorly or for people to not be reached by them. Sometimes people tell me that they thought I just completely stopped posting on YouTube. I decided I like doing these redraws in general, because it puts into perspective how much I've grown. I'm not quite sure what the proper terminology for this is, but something that I struggle with is not being able to perceive myself correctly or even my art correctly. For example, my hair is dyed like a blonde copper color at the moment with my darker roots, and when I got it dyed, when I looked at myself in the mirror, I didn't feel like there was any change from having my dark brown hair. For some reason, when I look at myself or even look at my work, I can't register changes, progress. I can't see myself or my work for what it is. Let me know if you know what that's called, if it's just a me problem. But that's something that happens with my work a lot. I feel like I'm just sitting there and stagnating and not growing or changing. So doing these redraws puts into perspective how much I've grown, how much my techniques have changed, my time efficiency, my understanding of color and value. And this painting is a perfect example of my growth in color. I'm not gonna tell you that the end result is my favorite painting that I've ever made. And as I said, I have this problem with being overly harsh with my own work and never wanting to post and, being inconsistent in what I post because it's not perfect. It's not my best work, or I didn't put in the proper time and energy. This sounds like a downer. This is just what goes on in my mind constantly. I'm not going to say that the end result is my favorite painting that I've ever done, but I think there are some good positives of the painting process, and I want to talk to you about them a bit. One of the things I noticed is that I used to only paint in grayscale first, and then I added color on top with adjustment layers. And for this new painting, I tried to color pick from the original painting's color palette to preserve the same palette. And as I was trying to work with the palette, I quickly began feeling uninspired and stuck. And I realized it's because for the same concept of a color palette, I approach it so differently now. I've realized that my style has evolved to add so many color shifts and bright pastel and neon colors in my paintings, even if the palette is subtle and subdued, like in this case. it almost to me is like a chromatic shift or a chromatic aberration around the edges of facial features, like the lips, the nose, the eyes, the hair, like anything that has almost a harsher edge to it. I love adding a pop of neon or a brighter highlight. It is part of my new style, something that I always add, but I never think about consciously. It's interesting to see the difference between my old work and my new work, how I approach these details differently. Once I started to deviate from the original color palette, I found myself enjoying the process so much more. If I'm going to be honest, the first half of the painting process, I stopped painting and went to bed, and I thought I was going to scrap the painting and start over the next day. But I tried to problem solve and came out of the other side with a finished painting. That's how a lot of my painting processes go. I just deleted like 3 unfinished paintings that I started these past 2 weeks because I didn't think they were going anywhere and decided to scrap them. That's just the way that my mind is working right now. At the end of the day, seeing the different paintings side by side is encouraging for me to see how I've improved in the details that I add now and brushes that I use now and just how I approach everything differently. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know if you struggle with any of these same things. And if you enjoy my new painting, I often get comments on videos like this that people are like, I really liked your old work more. And I really like the old painting too, but it's nice to see the growth. In my next video, I'm going to talk a little bit more in depth about color theory, color palettes, and lighting. I'm going to be remaking one of my most popular videos that I privated from several years ago, and I looked through that video. I'm including all the helpful tips that I had in that video, plus what I've learned in the last 6 years about colors, because I'm so much more confident now with them, and I'm very excited to share my tips and tricks, what I know, and how you can paint with colors better too. If you want to see that video, subscribe and turn on notifications. That video will be coming next week on Sunday. Thank you for being here. I hope you have a great Thanksgiving if you celebrate it. If you do not, I hope you have a good day and have peace, because sometimes it's difficult in the holidays. Hope you have a good rest of your day. I'll talk to you guys in my next video. Bye.